Thank you, Robert, and thank you for having us here today. I think we're going to have an interesting time actually having a debate here because we probably all agree on many of these issues. But just to add a few points to the ones that Governor Rendell made, this really is the ideal audience for this conversation because ultimately many of the most important infrastructure decisions fall in the laps of governors. The rubber meets the road in governors' offices. The stimulus bill creates a critically important, perhaps once in a lifetime opportunity to finally get these investment decisions right. And we do have a very challenging economic situation facing all of us as a nation, and it reminds me of the British general who turned to his troops at one point and said, "Men, we have run out of money, now we must learn how to think." And we are really facing that with infrastructure these days. So I actually come at this with 6 major thoughts in mind, and I think Governor Rendell's already enumerated a bunch of them. One, we do need a national agenda, a strategy. We haven't had a national strategy on transportation or many of these other elements since the Eisenhower days. We need to spend every dollar carefully and wisely, and indeed these need to be treated as investments that produce a large array of returns across many sectors, not just transportation, but housing, environment, climate control. We need to take as a first priority repairing what we already have. Fix it first. The infrastructure we have built is our single greatest asset, and we cannot allow it to fall into just repair as we have done for going on 50 years now. We need to treat all modes in transportation equally. It's always amazed me that we refer to driving and roads and bridges, and then everything else is alternative transportation. It's sort of like referring to a woman as an alternative man. It's just ludicrous. Walking is just as important as anything else in transportation. We need to bust the silos between our agencies so that they're thinking together on this. Housing, environment, energy, transportation need to work together. It needs to be taken out of the hands of highway engineers, for instance. And finally, we need to have transparency, or otherwise the American public will not follow us and will not follow the leadership of these governors and others.